when the G-Shock full metal line was released in 2018 with the debut of the GMW B5000 to the grand stage, it almost instantly became a fan favourite lineup. One of the most recent additions to the CasiOak collection is the full metal GMB 2100. But alas, we have to ask ourselves, does this full metal piece live up to the hype of its predecessors? Keep watching as we address this and many other questions in this video. Finally, the long-awaited heir in succession to the full metal line has been released, and boy, was it worth the wait. You may or may not be a fan of Casio, but one thing that they are undeniably known for is making designs with bold sizes to leave an impression when on the wrists. Their target audience is generally folks who care about their entire appearance of the watch as well as its performance. Casio has been unquestionably popular since the 1980s, and you'd be hard-pressed not to know a person who's a fan. The self-acclaimed CasiOak from G-Shock is part of the modern, hyped watch phenomena, and with a shiny, newly released version in stainless steel, we have an even more hype-worthy watch on our hands. When the GA21 series was released in 2019, the 8-sided bezel easily brought to mind the legendary Audemars Piguet from Royal Oak. But of course, the minimal design and slim case were quite impressive enough to make it popular on the virtual internet spaces. Since its release, it's become a modern G-Shock classic. But now that the GMB 2100 series has come to the limelight, the new and premium-looking metal case and bracelet in place of the standard plastic just takes the entire lineup to a higher level. Yes, many people guessed, or dare we say predicted, the change from plastic to metal, but regardless of all that, it still couldn't help but feel like a surprise when it got officially announced. Why? To be fair, it's common knowledge that G-Shock's success is built on a solid plastic case digital watch pushing more into the functionality. But perhaps Casio decided to take a step back to recall the historic MRG lineup that many nostalgic enthusiasts couldn't get enough of when premium metal case versions came to fruition. The watch instantly became more popular, and in turn, high-end titanium versions were also released, as well as other lines like the 9600 series, which eventually got a metal bezel. When you take all that into consideration, you will start to realize why it was only a matter of time before the brand utilized its secret ingredient formula to the full metal line, and thankfully so. In comparison to plastic, metal looks more solid and mature, and perhaps that's even why a lot of enthusiasts who already loved G-Shocks readily accepted the metal change. The GA2100 series had analog hands and looked like a traditional timepiece, which served as a bridge to connect with enthusiasts and collectors alike who may not have been typical fans of the brand's loud, youthful ideology. However, the new metal constructions aren't the only notable upgrade you should know about. The GMB 2100 series also includes so many exhilarating additions and technology, which shouldn't be a surprise given how improved functionalities and specifications are precisely what you'd expect from a famous brand of their level. But before we get into that, let's get familiar with the case. The new full metal case of the GMB 2100 was crafted using a 3-part surface finishing method involving a circular hairline finish on the visible top surface, a reflective satin finish on the bezel, and a vertical hairline finish on the case band. In addition to the metal upgrade, the GMB 2100 series also has a revamped, albeit slightly, case dimension which is measured to be 49.8mm by 44.4mm across while having a height reading of 12.8mm. With that in mind, it's a little bit larger than the standard case of your older GA2100 CasiOak series, but ironically, the thinnest full metal G-Shock watch that has ever been made yet. Just by looking at it, you'd easily notice it combines the DNA of two of the company's most recent and popular models. The shiny, all puns intended, GMB 2100 series makes good use of the octagonal bezel and sort of analog digital hybrid dial display of the best-selling CasiOaks. It also has a steel bracelet which, if you aren't too new in the world of horology, you'd have seen the GMW B5000, which debuted 4 years ago. In terms of having a premium feel, the GMB 2100 is the most quintessential in the CasiOak series yet. If you were one of the people that constantly passed on the metal Casio watches due to their bulky cases, you might want to look into the GMB 2100 as, like we said earlier, it sets a record for case slimness within the more extraordinary full metal line. Also, the three-step surface finishing technique of the GMB 2100 series case itself results in a unique three-dimensional outlook in both the bezel and the case. Isn't that top drawer enough? In terms of meeting the expectations of the previous full metal editions, the GMB 2100 excels. It is powered by the module 5691 quartz, which uses tough solar technology to allow it to convert power from even the dimmest of lights. Interestingly, there's also a perfect range of options as it is available in three versions: the classic steel, the GMB 2100D-1A version, the copper IP coated steel, the GMB 2100GD-5A version, and finally the black IP coated steel, the GMB 2100BD-1A version. All three of them feature the standard gshock technology features like a 24-hour stopwatch, a countdown timer, a 60-minute timer, the ability to set 5 daily alarms, shock resistance, and of course, the capability of being water resistant to depths of up to 200 meters. Also, it's capable of showing a fully automatic calendar of up to 2099 while having a much-needed battery level indicator, power saver mode, hand shift features, and a mute button for those discrete situations. Interested in other exhilarating features of the GMB 2100? It also has Bluetooth capabilities with an inbuilt smartphone link function via the gshock connected app. This can allow you to do various tasks while setting reminders, time dates, and a handy phone finder function. What about the price? For retail, the classic steel GMB 2100BD-1A has an asking price of $550, while the two other versions can be seen for $600. Now that all of that has been said, what is the overall verdict? Also, does the GMB 2100 actually live up to the hype? You can probably already tell which way this will go, but in all honesty, the eagerly anticipated GMB 2100 is all that everyone could have hoped for. The octagonal structure of the CasiOak screams to be a real modern-day classic, and also the superb functionality added to an already extensive list of its predecessors speak for themselves, and quite loudly, if we may add. Plus, of course, the multi-brushed finish casing makes it a complete all-rounder and certainly worth the wait. The full metal G-Shock series of watches have always been impressive. The very fact it had been so hyped over the years points to the direction that Casio has been doing things right. The predecessors could already give a lot of rival luxury watches in the mainstream market a run for their money. And now that the GMB 2100 series has been released, it feels like Casio has taken things up a notch or two. Also, taking into consideration the price tags in retail and of course the functionality aspect of the watch itself, if you decide to pick up any of the GMB 2100s, be assured that you will undoubtedly get your money's worth. For a little viewer bonus, here's a personal added take on the GMB 2100 series. G-Shock watches are known to be incredibly durable, so by default, you should expect to have one hell of a timepiece for the years to come. Also, given its design, it can easily fit into any dressier circumstance and the average day-to-day styling for all ages. If you are a fan of octagonal bezels and metal cases that can be reliable for an extended period, while still having a couple of tech-savvy functionalities, this watch is easily recommendable. The best characteristic of the series is probably the good blend of features available that makes it highly desirable and has a sporty feel to it, like a typical G-Shock watch would, coupled with the elegance of a dressier watch. Don't get me started about the price as well. In terms of value for money, it's an excellent watch. Alas, like almost every watch that has ever been made, it isn't immune to having some of its cons and shortcomings. For the GMB 2100 series, it's probably the use of minerals instead of sapphire crystals. Also, the thoroughly grey dial is a colour that many can agree wouldn't be for everyone. As things stand, Casio may need to release more similar products in quick succession, and with that in mind, it has the potential to most likely make it difficult for consumers to determine what piece is the best bet for them.